Hey everybody, this is Talitha and I am representing Food for the Soul on THA The After Party, and I am here at Texas Plus America, the Texas Plus America pageant, and I am here with the director, the CEO, the creative, everything behind Texas Plus America. And I wanted to talk to her briefly about her journey with the pageant, how she got started, what has been the most exciting things that she's experienced in the time that she's been here. Let us know a little bit about what we can expect tomorrow. So I am here with Brianna Williams. Tell us a little bit about you, and is this the only thing that you do? Do you do something else? Do you have a 9 to 5? Do you have corporate, or is this just your life?
Okay, well, you know what? It's interesting that you say that. This is kind of my life. Pageantry has kind of grown into my life, but it's also become a ministry of mine.
Wow.
But for my livelihood, I work for an organization called We. And so I work under We Charity, and We is a movement that just empowers young people to get out and change the world. So I actually tour as a motivational speaker right now. And so I'm in a few different states coming to you, Illinois. I'll be in New York, and then we'll be, of course, back here in Texas for a little while. But I've been blessed to start that position. It's brand new, and just going out and speaking with the youth. So that's what I do.
Yes.
Like,
that's your
livelihood, and then
your other side.
My other side, and then Texas Plus America. I began in 2010 as a delegate, and came in, and I was like, okay, never did a pageant. Let's see how this goes. You know, I came in 3rd place that year. Learned a lot. I came back in 2011, ended up winning at state, and then going to national, bringing the title home to the state of Texas. And then I just stayed behind the scenes. And fell in love with it. Just the fact of all the women that come together, and the fact that we're able to celebrate our beauty and then still give back to the community. So that is kind of where my passion came from with the pageant. And when I say it's my life, it's just because now as the director, it's kind of taken over. Wow. So I'm always speaking with ladies or learning about other people's platforms and making connections with people.
Have you been to different states, or is Texas just the only state that you've actually done the pageant in?
I have, so Texas, for Texas Plus America, this is my state where I've competed and then where I've served. However, I competed in another system called the American Elegance System. And I was Miss Lone Star in that system, and I went to Illinois and brought home the national title home to Texas for the plus size division.
Well, what would you say tell me the most interesting journey of being in the pageant? I'm talking about being actually in the pageant and also being behind the scenes. What's been the most interesting that you've experienced, or memorable?
Interesting, that's a good one. Most memorable, I would say probably when I was Miss Plus America 2011, my platform had to do with veterans. I'm the daughter of a veteran, and I was able to become a VA. I was able to become a VA volunteer. I worked with Vitas Hospice Care with their veterans program, and then I had an opportunity to meet some of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen. And this is all just because of this platform I started, and I didn't start until I got into the pageant. So I was able to meet with people. I'm a history buff. I was able to meet and learn that history, and so and the 2 men that I met, they are both now deceased. And so just being able to meet and learn from them, that probably has been the most memorable. But the most interesting has also been the fact that I was never a person that just had a lot of female friends or hung around with a lot of women, and now I'm just surrounded, but I'm surrounded with so much support. And so I found my best friend through this. I have all these new little nieces and nephews, and so that's been the most interesting, because I'm doing something I never thought would have happened.
Well, what would you say has been your biggest obstacle?
Ooh, the biggest obstacle. Ooh, that's kind of tough. Biggest obstacle. I am somewhat of an introvert. So when you get to know, initially I'm a little reserved and I'm quiet, and then my personality comes out and it's all bubbly, but being in the director's role, you really have to go out. You have to extend yourself to more people and open up to more people, and then to spread the word is quite difficult for someone like me. So I've had to just challenge myself. It's been a little uncomfortable with finding that just my own style with how to speak with people and how to pull people in. Because I normally working with little people, with kids.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's been the biggest obstacle, but I found that in that uncomfortable space, I've seen myself grow.
Absolutely. Well, I want to talk about a sensitive issue. I'm sure you were around when Ashley, and I can't remember her last name because it's
Ashley Holmes.
Ashley Holmes, because they had different last names. But one of them, are they married? They're married. One's married.
They both are.
Okay. I'm sorry.
They both are, but Ashley is Ashley Holmes Lindley.
Okay, and then Ashley Holmes. Okay. So tell me about that experience, because I just got a chance to talk to her sister Amber, and Amber was saying how she actually wanted to take on the pageant this year because she wanted to try and bring it back home just to represent her sister and the loss. And so tell me how that was, especially with the sisterhood, and how that happened so suddenly. And I didn't want to ask her just because I just I didn't want to have her relive that again. But what do you?
Well,
what
actually,
was that like?
It was, to sound cliche, it was earth-shattering.
Yeah.
Because Ashley was a woman that would call my phone. She would call my phone, and if you didn't answer on the first ring, it didn't matter. She's gonna call back.
Okay.
And then she's gonna call back, and then I'm answering. I would, what, girl, what? And we'd be able to talk. And I'd pray for her. She would pray for me. She would ask me how I was doing before I even learned what was going on with her.
Okay.
And then there's a term that I use called working queen. And she was just the epitome of working queen, meaning that she was managing her own life, putting in time with the pageant, and dedicating her title to her platform.
Okay.
So she was truly just working as a queen just all around.
Okay.
And so this is my second year as the director. I've been behind the scenes on staff, but I stepped into the role about halfway through last year.
Okay.
And about halfway through was Ashley's during her reign as Mrs. Texas. And so we were able to get a little closer and speak with each other more. But I remember when I called and told her, and she said, I got your back, I've got you. And so she became a person that if I was in Austin trying to recruit ladies, she would drive on down. If I go to Houston, she would drive on down. She was there. And so having that type of support when you come in after a pageant that's had leadership for about 10 years and you come into something new, and having someone that has your back and that loves you, it was amazing. And so when it happened, it was so sudden, and it shook me more than I realized, because I think about her daily. I have her picture on my little armoire. I even still dream about her every now and then. And but what it did was that her life was so bright and she touched so many people that we had sisters from out of state. This is a competition. We do want to win. Of course. But we had sisters that flew in to support one another. We had sisters that were reaching out to the family. We always say this is a sisterhood and that we get along and we love each other. But her passing was a true test of that, to see how strong our bonds were. And it made some of us, at least for me, it made me wake up and truly think about what's my vision for this system. What do I want? What type of women are we, I don't want to say growing because they're already growing on their own, but what type of women are we inviting in? And what are we doing with one another? What's our mission? And so although it was earth-shattering and we're still sad, you'll see us wearing our pink flowers. The staff and some of our reigning queens, we will wear our pink flowers on Sunday in honor of Ashley, because I've dedicated this year's pageant in her honor. And with that meaning that she is such a bubbly spirit and she loves pageants so much. We're like, we're gonna turn it up every year. It's gonna be better and better, and we're gonna keep that spirit alive. But that's what it did. Something beautiful came out of something so tragic.
And I would like to say that I gave her a shout out when I was talking to her sister Amber, but I got a chance to meet her a couple of years ago, and she was so bubbly. And that's why I said when of course we keep in touch on Facebook and stuff like that. And so, and then I saw her at a couple of other things, but when I found out, it actually threw me, and I didn't even know her that well at all. And so I'm telling all of my friends, like, you guys, this was, it hurt me because I had just saw her post the night before, and it just made me think about life and how, you know, of course we always know that life is not forever, but when you have somebody that passes very suddenly, it makes you really reconsider and tell your people you love them, and check your health and different things like that. And so I just want to say that she will thoroughly be missed. How is it looking at her sister? Because I looked at her, I almost called her Ashley, and I was like, how is it looking at her? Gosh, they look so much alike.
They do. They look so much alike, and so I know that her spirit lives on.
Yes.
And see, Amber entered before Ashley passed.
Okay.
So she had already planned to be in the pageant.
Okay, good,
and I remember we were having a conversation. Amber and I had a conversation. I told her, "You are Amber.
Yes.
You are beautiful as Amber.
Right.
You are a twin,
yes.
but you are just so beautifully unique.
Yes.
And you have your own way of doing things in your own style. And don't worry about having to be like your sister, but they were twins and they were sisters and they had a bond. So you still see that spirit, you see that smile, you'll hear that laugh, and it is comforting. It is comforting. And I remember that one of my last conversations with Ashley, I was getting on to her and I said, "You get off your sister's back. Okay?" She was like, "I'm just telling her what she needs to do."
Let her be
"I want to tell her she needs to practice and she needs to this." And I was like, "I know." She was like super coach, which was a great thing. But I was like, "You let her be her," and she was like, "Okay," but I'm still gonna tell her this. But it's still beautiful. I'm still able to experience that piece of Ashley while enjoying growing my relationship with Amber.
Well, let everybody know about the pageant tomorrow, the time, where it is, and all of that.
Crowne Plaza, Arlington Suites, right across from the ballpark. Doors open at 2. At 2:30, the show starts, and we will crown the new Miss, Ms., and Mrs.